It has been 6 months since I arrived here in Australia from the US, and in this video I'm going to talk about everything I've found that's interesting or useful over these past 6 months. This is going to be a sequel to the 3 months video I did a while back. If I covered it in that video, I probably won't talk about it in this video. Now, I think the first thing that's really worth mentioning is what it's like being an American specifically in Australia. And one thing as someone from the US that you will consistently experience when interacting with Aussies is questions and just kind of interest around gun laws back home. As an Aussie, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Americans?
Probably just the fucking guns.
How did I know? When you think of Americans in the US, like what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Oh, no, you don't.
No, be completely honest, completely honest.
Burgers and guns.
Yeah, that's what I thought, all right. Now, 50% of the time, Australians will just be kind of curious about it and they'll ask questions about it. And the other 50% of the time, people will try to get a rise out of you and they will try to take the piss about it. And a great example of this is actually the comments section of this YouTube channel. In Australia, nobody carries an AR-15, so you won't get shot when you're minding your own business. Hey Mum, we still have that extra Kevlar vest. They're at it with the AR-15s again. As an American, I do find it pretty interesting as the sheer amount of times that it's gotten brought up since I have been living here in Australia really kind of brings home how different those laws are when compared to other countries. If you are an American coming to visit here, I just recommend maybe having a couple one-liners to throw back at people because you will get jokes tossed out about it all the time. So just be kind of mentally prepared for those ones. The other thing I experience all the time as an American living here is getting referred to as a Yank or just called the Yank. I guess it's kind of interesting as someone from the US because we never use that term back home.
Oh, where you boys going?
Oh, me and the Yank are gonna go grab a feed. We're thinking Dirty Bird or Macca's.
All right, so the second thing definitely worth mentioning is food stuff that I've tried here, and I think the best way to show you is to just give you the highlight reel. All right, so I have some burger rings here, and looking at the packaging, it honestly reminds me of something we have in the States called Funyuns. All right, here goes. I will say it tastes nothing like a burger at all. If anything, it's like oniony ketchup flavor, but still pretty good. I'd say these are a solid 8 out of 10. All right, so today at Woolies, I have found what could only be described as a hot dog bun with icing and then a cheese cinnamon roll. Let's give it a go. Bro, I'll be honest, this tastes exactly what it looks like. It tastes like a hot dog bun with icing. Obviously not bad, but 6 out of 10. Now for the scroll, you know, there's definitely Vegemite in this, which I thought that was just like the cheese being brown, but it actually works pretty well. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. So I picked up these Kuka's cookies and they have the most Australian packaging of all time. Dude, this is a thick cookie, bro. Here goes. There's a lot going on there, but it's a little bit drier than I thought it would be. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I'd say like a 6.5 out of 10. All right, so after trying pretty much every different Tim Tam flavor that I think is out there, I think that personally for me, my favorite has got to be these salted caramel ones. If you're gonna try anything besides the original, I would recommend these two. All right, so I'm trying the orange slices today. Bro, I did not think I would like this. Like 8.5 out of 10. This is nice. The orange flavor is not too strong. Of those foods that I tried, I think the biggest positive surprise was definitely the orange slice biscuits. I thought those were not going to be very good at all, and maybe excluding Tim Tams, they're probably my favorite Australian biscuit that I've had. Today I went down to the jerky store, which technically is a South African store, but they do have crocodile jerky, which is the only way I could find to eat crocodile on short notice. And they also had emu jerky, so I guess we're gonna try that as well. I am not excited about this, bro. It looks kind of freaky though. Dude, it looks like tree bark. All right, cheers. Bro.
Oh,
Bro, this is impossible to eat.
you can't eat it.
That is so tough. That is the toughest piece of jerky I've ever eaten in my life.
Let me try it.
People say crocodile tastes kind of fishy. Does it taste fishy?
Not to me.
Maybe there's a fishiness to it. I can't really tell.
No.
Yeah, jerky is not the best test for this, I don't think. All right, so next we're trying the emu jerky. Ooh, this one smells worse than the crocodile, bro.
This smells bad. I can smell the bird in this. Can you?
Bro, all right, cheers.
Cheers.
That's gotta be the worst tasting jerky.
Holy shit.
It's so bad. All right, best way I could describe it, emu tastes kind of like almost like a bloody, I guess, like irony, gamey taste to it. Really bad in my opinion. I did not like the taste of it. I'm giving that like a 1.5 out of 10. The crocodile, honestly, really tough because I guess they must have had to do that for the jerky. But the flavor itself is actually pretty decent. It's kind of mostly like a rich chicken flavor, if I could say anything. The jerky itself, though, probably like a 5 or a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Just because it's literally shoe texture. Number 3 is some more things with wildlife I've encountered here. Bro, what even are you? It's like a grasshopper, but the leaf version.
Well, boys, I caught myself a good old cane toad.
Wait. It's like a chicken and a seagull had a baby. Yo, get a room, bro. So I finally found out what these psycho birds are in one of my previous videos. A ton of people were telling me that they were bats, but no, they're actually lorikeets. A while back, we found a snake hiding in the back at where I work. During this situation, I found out that at least here in Cairns, they have dedicated people just to pretty much catch and handle snakes whenever they end up kind of showing up on someone's property. Number 4 is outdoors and nature stuff, and recently I found out that you can actually see the southern lights here in Australia. If I'm being completely honest, I had no idea that the southern lights even existed. They're a different color from the northern lights, so they're more of like a purple and yellow color as opposed to the northern light counterpart over in the North Pole. Another thing is they actually have ski resorts here in some of the southern parts of Australia. And again, my friend Brett actually moved down here to work at the ski resorts. And the craziest thing about this, at least to me, as someone who's grown up going skiing in the States. Ooh! This sounds stupid, but like the trees. I'm so used to seeing pine trees when you go skiing. And seeing a completely different tree with snow on it just looks so strange to me. Something I noticed while camping here is as soon as you go camping a little ways away from the city, at night, the amount of stars that you can see is absolutely insane. And as far as camping goes, there's a huge culture around camping, I think, here in Australia, especially where I am in far north Queensland. So anytime that you leave the house, at least here in Cairns, you're gonna see cars that are set up for camping. They have the four-wheel drive, they have the rooftop tents. A lot of them have the kind of awnings that are attached to the roof as well. And one other thing you see with these cars that you never see in the US is the snorkels on the cars. And here you see the snorkels everywhere. Here's how many cars I saw driving with snorkels down the road in 5 minutes. Number 5 is stuff that I've noticed while driving here in Australia. Now, I've already made an entire video about driving in Australia, but here's some more stuff that I've noticed that wasn't in that video. The first thing I've found is even if you don't plan on buying a car here, as a foreigner, it's probably worth still getting your driver's license here. When applying for anything to do with government here, a lot of the times they'll ask you for some sort of Australian identification, and having your driver's license works for that. So I applied for a blue card a while back to volunteer at the hospital, and already having my driver's license made that process way easier. The second thing is oftentimes when applying for jobs here, a requirement will be to have an Australian driver's license. Also, sometimes when you go to the shops to rent something, they'll ask you for a driver's license, and I found, at least at Bunnings, they won't accept anything but an Australian driver's license. If you are planning on buying a car here, I definitely recommend checking out the channel Redriven. It's a great resource on looking into any used cars in Australia, and they have a lot of tips and tricks when looking to buy your first car here. Another great resource if you're buying a car here is Redbook, and this will just give you kind of what price to expect when you're looking at a specific model of car. If you are getting used to driving on the left-hand side of the road, the biggest thing that helped me was always having a hands-free GPS system in my car. At first, I just had one of those dashboard mount ones. I got it for like $5 at Kohl's. Since then, I've actually installed a GPS system in my car. The GPS system is an absolute game changer. You also need to make sure that you have a hands-free system, as you can get a ticket just for holding your phone while driving here out in Queensland, and it's quite expensive too. The last thing I've found about driving here in Australia is it's like the States, where each state has their own traffic laws and they all vary slightly. Most notably though, I've found that speeding laws are different state to state, and the registration process looks a little bit different depending on the state that you're in. Number 6 is some of the Aussie lingo that I've picked up, and I'll run down a list of some of the ones I've found that are more common. So when you're getting food here, people will say a feed. Instead of do you want or are you interested in, people will just say are you keen on or are you keen for. Hey bro, you hungry?
Yeah, I'd be keen for a feed, yeah.
Instead of I think, like we would say back in the States, people say I reckon. All right, brother, what are you thinking? Like maybe McDonald's or?
Yeah, I reckon Macca's, hell yeah, let's do it.
Instead of what would you like, it's what are you after or what are you chasing? Then we have too easy or no worries, and these are kind of a catch-all similar to no problem. And sometimes I even use it as like you're welcome almost, like no worries. Can I just get one Happy Meal?
Yeah, what Happy Meal are you after you?
It doesn't really matter, just one that has a toy in it.
No worries. And what drink?
Ah, man. Bro.
Wow, what were you chasing?
Ah, dude, I wanted the chicken nuggets.
Ah, true.
Then we have fair dinkum, which is kind of like no way.
Fair dinkum. Mario Kart Deluxe, got the peach. Holy, that's exactly what I wanted.
Ah, no way, bro.
100%, that is exactly what I wanted.
You know what the resale value is on those? Hey is equivalent to huh or what. Dude, I wanted water.
Hey? Oh, water.
Water.
Oh, water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah, right. Yeah, water.
And probably my favorite Aussie slang is the word bogan, which is kind of similar to what I would say like a redneck is back in the States, but it's got like kind of a uniquely Australian connotation to it. Finally, the last thing that I want to mention is getting mail here, and more specifically packages. One thing that has driven me specifically crazy here is every time I get a package delivered by the Australian Post, which is like the official Australian Postal Service, the postman has not once actually delivered the package to me. Every single time I've gotten a little slip of paper saying that I need to go into the post office. I don't know if this is just an issue with my house specifically, or if this is something that Australians are used to as well, but it drives me nuts. I have never actually gotten a package from Australia Post delivered to my house. I swear that the postman will walk by, look at my house, see that no one's standing outside, well, nobody's home, and then just say, well, no one's here, I gotta take it back. It's crazy to me. Anyways though, that's gonna be it for this one. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I got wrong that people are keen on correcting me for. So let me know what I got wrong down in the comments, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.